This is an NBC News special report. Here's Lester Holt.
Good evening from Los Angeles. We're back on the air because President Trump has just made a brief statement after the U.S. military launched dozens of Tomahawk cruise missiles against Syria, hitting an airfield where it's believed the Assad regime launched that horrific chemical attack on his own people, including dozens of children. Tonight, the U.S. hitting back. We'll have the president's remarks in just a moment, but let's go right now to our chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel. Richard, what's the latest about this target and what we know that was hit?
Well, this was President Trump's first significant act as commander-in-chief. As you know, a few days ago, there was a horrific chemical weapons attack in Syria, dozens of people killed. Today, the United States responded, firing from the eastern Mediterranean 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles at the very air base where the U.S. says that chemical attack was launched.
This all coming on a day the president was meeting with his military advisors, looking at various options. Here's now the president from a few minutes ago.
On Tuesday, Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad launched a horrible chemical weapons attack on innocent civilians. Using a deadly nerve agent, Assad choked out the lives of helpless men, women, and children. It was a slow and brutal death for so many. Even beautiful babies were cruelly murdered in this very barbaric attack. No child of God should ever suffer such horror. Tonight I ordered a targeted military strike on the airfield in Syria from where the chemical attack was launched. It is in this vital national security interest of the United States to prevent and deter the spread and use of deadly chemical weapons. There can be no dispute that Syria used banned chemical weapons, violated its obligations under the Chemical Weapons Convention, and ignored the urging of the UN Security Council. Years of previous attempts at changing Assad's behavior have all failed, and failed very dramatically. As a result, the refugee crisis continues to deepen, and the region continues to destabilize, threatening the United States and its allies. Tonight I call on all civilized nations to join us in seeking to end the slaughter and bloodshed in Syria, and also to end terrorism of all kinds and all types. We ask for God's wisdom as we face the challenge of our very troubled world. We pray for the lives of the wounded and for the souls of those who have passed. And we hope that as long as America stands for justice, then peace and harmony will, in the end, prevail. Good night, and God bless America and the entire world. Thank you.
President Trump speaking a few minutes ago from his estate in Florida about the U.S. cruise missile strike on an airfield in Syria tonight. The president saying there's no dispute that Syria used banned chemical weapons. Let's go right now to our chief White House correspondent, Hallie Jackson, who's traveling with the president in Florida. What are you hearing from there, Hallie?
Lester, you saw President Trump place the blame squarely on the shoulders of Bashar al-Assad. It is a striking reversal from where he was just a few years ago when he was a candidate, and even as recently as last week when his administration said that it was a political reality that the Assad regime would remain in power. You heard the president talk about what changed his mind, and that is, as he called them, beautiful babies cruelly murdered. The question now, Lester, and what we need to report out, number one, politically, what this means for our allies and our enemies internationally. You're particularly looking at what the reaction is going to be from President Vladimir Putin. Here at home, you want to see the reaction from Capitol Hill. Already, there is some discussion that the president should have perhaps consulted with members of Congress. Some lawmakers saying that that is what they wanted to see. Others applauding, essentially, the president's move here overseas. Lester?
Hallie Jackson in Florida traveling with the president. Hallie, thank you. We will have continuous updates on this breaking news on NBCNews.com. Much more tomorrow morning on Today. For now, I'm Lester Holt, NBC News Los Angeles. Good evening.